Hello everyone, this is Endgame Arts with the unboxing and breakdown of the demo. This is Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon, everybody, for the PlayStation 4. Now this is a Japan import version of the game. Sadly, the physical copy is not available in the US or PAL region. Do not worry though, the Japan version of the game does support English voice acting, English menus, as well as English subtitles. As long as your console is set for English, it will support it for that. So that's very nice, but also very odd that we never got a physical release here in the US or in PAL region. The game is also available on the Nintendo Switch as well, and that does support both the Japan and Asia version on the Nintendo Switch, does support English as well. Now, I decided to get the PS4 version due to the fact that I haven't seen anybody really talk about the physical version, and so I wanted to confirm that it does support English, as you can see. Now, this is a remaster of the original that came out, Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon, for the Nintendo Wii. Now, I do have it on the Nintendo Wii, and I did play a great extent of it back on the Wii, so I already generally know the game. The game is our typical dungeon crawling random generation dungeon level game with Final Fantasy named universe tied into it. Now the story is not anything too amazing. You play as a Chocobo adventurer with your a pal, your friend, who is Sid. He is a treasure hunter as well. And certain events take place that you go to the Sands of Time Tower, and something event happens, and you get sent to the town of Lost Time. Within that town, there is a bell that rings, and every time it rings, if you can hear it, you lose memories. Now, why this is and what this is to do is to help prevent sadness, anger, and so forth. If you can't remember it, then you can't be mad or upset about it or sad about it. It's a kind of an interesting kind of concept of the story, but nothing too amazing. The game mainly focuses around its dungeon exploration. You got your Chocobo naturally, which if you play and go through dungeons, you will get gear, level up, and so forth. But it also has a job system where you can unlock newer jobs to be a knight, be a priest, be a wizard, and be a lancer. Your typical Final Fantasy character roster of classes. It's not a too complicated game, but it does have a hard mode in it where if you die, you lose all of your equipment and you have to regather it all again. Now on easy, you can just get sent back and lose some gold, and that's it. So depending on how you want to play, it's up to you. I never really had too hard of a time back on the Wii, and coming back to it, I really didn't have a hard time again. So if you got some set experience with dungeon crawlers of this field, you might want to just jump into hard. But if you're just interested in a family-friendly or just a quick, joyful story, it's there as well on easy. The game does support 1 to 2 players, which is also really nice. One player controls the Chocobo, and the other person controls the enemy monsters. Now, not the bad guys. As you play through it, you unlock a registered buddy system, and as you kill more monsters, you can call upon that monster as a second player to help you through the dungeon. It's a turn-based kind of system too, so you got to bear that in mind. Every time you move, the enemy moves, and every time you move, the enemy moves. So you got to work together, and as well as that, your friend will be in that roster as well as moveset. So it's about balancing between them both. The game does have a little bit of a exploration, like a town area where you can, of course, buy equipment, deposit items, and so forth. It's just, like I said, your typical kind of style dungeon crawler. It's still a fun and enduring game in itself. Not too hard, not too complicated, but nothing that's going to leave an impact. What I found quite interesting was the fact that it was only a Japan import available on PS4. I'm just really glad to see it does support fully English menus and so forth. So I'm really glad to have it in my collection. I do have it on the Nintendo Wii, and I'm glad to have a remastered version of the game. Now, as I said, I've played extensively. I didn't really experience any problems or any hiccups or anything like that, so it's generally the same game. Now, there is a redeem code that came with my physical version. I believe it just adds a newer job class for the Chocobo. I'm not entirely sure because I can't read Japanese. Now, the redeem code is freely available to whoever wants it, if it hasn't expired anyway. But bear in mind that games and consoles are region free, but redeem codes are not. You need to have a Japan account to be able to redeem that redeem code. So just bear that in mind if you're trying to register and it won't work. You gotta have a Japanese PSN account. For the most part, yeah, I have to say, if you can get the time, get it in your collection, it's well worth your time. It's a fun little game. Don't expect anything too amazing, some depth, and if you're just more into, cutesy, kind of colorful and playful kind of style in the game. It's got some good, decent voice acting, I thought, and just overall characters are very well immersive in their design. It's, like I said, it's supposed to be a light-hearted kind of game, not to be taken too seriously, but it's still a fun and good time. well worth to have it in your collection. Whether you want to get the Nintendo Switch version or the PS4 version, they both have fully English menus and so forth, and as I said, there were no updates available, so it's all currently the most updated version of the game on disc, which is a huge plus as well. So like always, I will leave links down in the description if you're interested in a copy. I will also leave links to the Nintendo Switch version as well, in case you would prefer that version of the game. So, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys on the next episode, so bye-bye!
When you need him, he's there. Whistling the he's there. With eyes gently sparkling behind his mysterious mask. Nobody knows who he is, but everybody knows his name. Da-da-da! Have no fear! Dungeon Hero X is here, Papa! Yippee! Yes, he's the hero of the new generation, Papa! The H in hero stands for hush hush. His true identity is a closely guarded secret, Kupo. And the ERO stands for aerodynamic. The A is silent, whooshing in just like the justice I deliver.